Hi guys, James here. Welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone's doing well. So today I am filming in a little bit of a different location. Still my bedroom, but it is facing where my makeup organizer drawers are from IKEA. Now, if you saw my vlog number 3 or 2, you saw me reorganize my whole entire room. But today I wanted to go through my makeup and kind of just declutter the things that I was iffy about in the last couple of months. I did do an eyeshadow declutter 2-3 months ago, but I just wanted to quickly go through everything again and just really get through all the things that I was iffy about, and also some products that I've received lately that I'm not happy about, that I just want to get rid of. I do have a whole lot of makeup coming in the next 2 weeks, probably 20 eyeshadow palettes and a whole lot of other different products, so I'm excited to receive them, and I just want to make some more room for those products. So I'm just trying to edit everything as I go. So I will try and do these every 3 months just to make sure that I'm not keeping something that I know I'm not going to use again. So guys, for part 1 I'm going to go through all my eyeshadow palettes, highlighters, setting powders, blushes and bronzers, contours, also my face palettes, and also my single eyeshadows, and that also includes liquid eyeshadows and P. Louise bases. So that's going to be part 1, and then part 2 I'm going to do lipsticks, lip glosses, lip liners, eyeliners. Then also I'm going to go through all my skincare items. Now I don't think I'll declutter anything from my skincare collection, but I will show you what I've got in my drawers. I have a lot of extra skincare items that I haven't even got to, so I will show you what I'm going to be using in the next couple of months, and also what my skincare entails. Alright guys, I know that was a very long intro, but let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so I've quickly changed the camera so you can see the drawers. I'll just show you the first couple of drawers you can see here, and then I'll move the camera again. For the first drawer, I have all my smaller eyeshadow palettes in here from Colourpop. I've got Kaleidos, I've got Beauty Bay, Fenty, I've got a whole lot of different ones, Kimchi. I do have some Elf Bites one, I've got this one, and then I've got the blue and the green one, but I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are, so I'm going to have to try and find them, but I wasn't going to declutter them anyway. I've only had these ones for a week now, so I love them. Now guys, for me the best way to do this video is I'm going to grab each one. I might open them and kind of show you the color story of each palette, but I won't swatch any just because I'll be here forever. And then when I've opened them, I'm going to put them up on top of here. Any of the palettes I'm going to declutter, I'll let you know about, and I'll tell you why I'm going to declutter them. And guys, I do apologize, this video probably will be very long because I have a lot of products, like I said at the start of this video. Alright, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so the first one, obviously I'm not going to declutter this elf one, just like I said. Now this one here is the Bite Size Rose Water palette. So cute. I haven't played with it yet, but I will. And then I also have this Revlon one. I think this is from Revlon. Yep, this is the Revlon Sophia's Prismatic palette, the fully loaded palette. Now it has 4 eyeshadows in it. Now as you can see, the Revlon pan sizes are huge compared to the elf ones. But I do think this was about $12 and this was only $6. So price point for the product, they're probably the same. So I'm going to keep that because I haven't played with that one yet either. And then guys, we've got this Beauty Bay one. This is the 9-pan matte palette, the bright matte palette. Picked this up on sale, it was like $9. I haven't used it yet, but it's so pretty, I can't wait to play with it. So I'm going to keep that one. We do have this Colourpop one. Now this one came broken, that shade there is broken. And that's in the shade High Key. This was part of the Make It Black collection from Colourpop, where they donate all the proceeds to black-owned businesses. I haven't played with this one yet, but I will, so I'm going to keep that one. Now this one I haven't played with either. God, I haven't played with so many of these. But this one I only unboxed last week. I got this from Beauty Bay when I did a little Beauty Bay haul. Now guys, this palette is water activated and it is also UV activated. I do want to get a black light just to test it out, but I haven't played with this yet, so I'll test that out. And then guys, we've got this Fenty one. Again, I haven't used this one yet. I was going to do like a pastel look. It's really pretty. I'll play with that eventually. And then guys, we've got this Pure X Raw Beauty Christie palette. So it's got 2 sides, colourful side here, and then we've got the neutral side. It's so pretty. I'm going to keep this. It's a collector's item. This palette only has a 6 months expiry date on it, but it's still a collector's item, so I'm going to keep that. We've got the Raw Beauty Colourpop collaboration at Forest Sight. This is one of my favourite palettes. Colour story wise, it's stunning. So I'm definitely going to keep that. Beautiful packaging as well. Really love that palette. Then guys, we've got this Kimchi Chic Mango Tango one. I'm going to declutter this one. I have used it a couple times. I found the colors okay. Very pigmented, but they weren't very easy to blend. So I'm going to just declutter this one because I have the Beauty Bay 9-pan eyeshadow palette and I love Beauty Bay's formula. So I'm going to declutter this one. Put that to the side. We also have this Kimchi Juicy Velvet palette. Now this is an all shimmer palette. Really pretty, but I'm going to declutter it as well because I haven't used it in a long time and I've had this for over a year. I am going to keep this Kimchi Chic Virgin Mojito because I really love green eyeshadow right now. Mostly green and blue. So I'm going to keep this one. I did do a makeup tutorial with it. It was a 45-minute video. It was a very long video. But if you do want to watch it, I will link that down below. But this is one of my favorite palettes from Kimchi. It's mainly the shimmers that I'm after in this palette, not the mattes. The mattes, again, a bit powdery, but the shimmers were really, really nice to work with. So I'm going to keep that. And I did get this on sale, so that's why I'm keeping that. This palette here I got from Juno & Co. in their mystery box just before Christmas. Haven't opened it, but so pretty. And guys, this retails $10 US full price, which I think is a fair price point. This palette I haven't used. I just picked it up from, it's a shopping centre, but all the brands are discounted. So this is a matte eyeshadow palette. Haven't played with it yet, but look how pretty that is. So this was on sale, so I picked that up. Then we've got this Makeup Revolution one. I got this for free from Priceline when I spent when I bought 2 Makeup Revolution items. They gave me this for free, so haven't played with it. It's really pretty. I'll get to it eventually. I really like that colour there. The other shades I've got in all my other palettes, but that colour there I don't have. I don't know if the camera's doing it justice. Guys, I'm sorry if the light's not very bright. I'm trying not to have too much glare back on the camera from these palettes. That's why I haven't turned it up all the way. Now guys, I will be keeping this palette just to test out the formula. This palette I got from Kmart. I'm going to declutter it. I haven't used it. Don't think I will. $7. Declutter that. The next palette is from Beauty Bay. Now this is the pastel palette. I did do one of my favorite looks. It's a really, really pretty color story. But the shades in this palette, it took a lot for me to get the pigmentation in the palette. I would pack it on and it would just disappear after 5 minutes when I was doing the other eye. So I had to keep going from eye to eye. So I'm going to declutter this now. I did pick this up for $10, so I don't feel too bad decluttering it. The next palette I have is from Colourpop. This is the On the Cloud Blue, and I really like this palette. I did just do a makeup tutorial on my channel with this palette, and I really do like Colourpop's formula. I just think their formula is really good. Now, those palettes used to be $12 for the 9-pan eyeshadow palettes. Now they've gone up to $14, but I still think it's worth the money. Now, this one here is in a love triangle. I have not played with this palette yet. I bought this palette when I bought the On the Clouds Blue palette. Really, really pretty colour story, and I will get to it eventually, so I'm going to keep that. And I did pick these palettes up when they were at 50% off. Alright, so Laura Lee on the Boss Babe palette. I'm going to declutter this. I haven't used it too much. Yeah, I just haven't really used it, and I've had this for a long time, almost a year and a bit. So I'm just going to declutter it because I don't see myself grabbing it. And I'm also going to declutter the Laura Lee Sleigh Bell palette as well. Just really not my thing. I've got a lot of the same colours in a lot of my other palettes that I use more regularly. So I'm going to declutter those. Alright guys, so let's talk about these Colourpop palettes. Now we've got the Blowing Smokes Colourpop palette. Stunning palette, love this palette. Really wanted it for a long time, but it was sold out for ages, so I finally got my hands on it. Going to keep that one. And then I'm also going to keep this light green palette from Colourpop. Really pretty colour story. I did do a makeup. Did I do a makeup tutorial with this palette? I don't know. I did do a reel on my Instagram and my TikTok, which I'll link down below if you do want to see that. Now guys, I do post a lot of reels and TikTok videos where I don't actually film makeup tutorials with on my channel. So if you want to see more makeup content, go check out my Instagram. Now guys, the next palettes I've got are from Kaleidos, and I'm going to keep all of these just to let you know. First of all, packaging. Let's just talk about the packaging. 10 out of 10. So pretty. Now these are the 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. They retail for about $19 each US, but I think I got these in a bundle, so I didn't pay that much. So pretty. Love this palette. That blue is such a beautiful blue. So pretty. So I'm going to keep that one. Then we have this neutral one that I haven't actually played with yet, but that's really, really pretty as well. Can't wait to get my hands onto that one. Now guys, I have used these last two, this one and this one. Now this palette is probably my favorite out of these 4 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. And guys, look at the color story. You know exactly why. That blue is everything. This orange is really pigmented. Really, really pretty palette. Love this palette so much. I'm going to definitely keep that one. And then obviously I'm going to keep this one because it's a really, really pretty palette as well. This purple, like duochrome shade. Oh, everything. Love these palettes. So I'm going to keep that one. And then guys, these two I recently just bought from Chemist Warehouse. This is the W7 Soft Hue palette. Now this is a dupe for the Huda Beauty palette. I'll put a photo up of the Huda Beauty one. And guys, I haven't actually opened the seal on these, so I can't open them for you. I do want to do a makeup tutorial with these palettes. I'm going to do one for each eye, I think. Yeah, I think I might do that. So keep an eye out for that video. I'm going to keep those. This palette here from Colourpop, the Candyland Castle. Now, I did try to look at this price-wise online because I didn't know how much I paid for it. And I was really shocked that a lot of people are selling this palette alone for like $100 on eBay and stuff like that. I think it actually retails for like $25 or $20 on Colourpop's website originally, but people are selling these for up to $100, $150 on eBay. I haven't played with mine yet, so we'll get to it. I did buy this in their 70% off sale. I don't think this was 70% off, but all the items were up to 70% off. So this was probably about 30% off. So I'm going to keep that because I haven't played with it. And then lastly, guys, these are just Morphe empty palettes. So these are just their small Morphe palettes. I got 3 of these just to keep all my single eyeshadows when I receive them. So those ones are just in the back of the drawer there. Alright guys, so drawer number 1 is done. I have decluttered 6 palettes. So these ones I'm going to declutter. I might see if some of my friends want to have some of these. I don't know. I'll probably just throw these out because most of these are expired. And the other ones, the formula is not great. And I don't want to pass on any products that don't work to my friends because I think that's kind of shady. So yeah, I'll just keep these aside and I'll make up my mind what to do with them later. Alright guys, so I've just gone off camera and repacked this first drawer. So these are all the eyeshadow palettes I am keeping. So I'm pretty happy that I decluttered 6 palettes because like I said, I haven't used them or I don't see myself using them or the formula is not great. So I'm happy that I've made some more room for future palettes. So that's drawer number 1. Alright guys, so the second drawer has my medium-sized palettes in it. So let's get straight into it. So the first palette is from Huda Beauty and this is the Mercury Renegade palette. Love this palette. And the packaging for this palette, guys, it's so pretty. It's stunning. I'm going to keep this palette because I think it's so pretty. And it also was $115 Australian, so I can't afford to just throw that away. And then, guys, the next palette is from Kaleidos. This is the collaboration with Angelica Nouvrist. I think that's how you say it. It's the Club Nebula palette. Really pretty packaging, again from Kaleidos. 10 out of 10. And guys, this is what the palette looks like. So pretty. I'm so excited that I got this palette. It sold out really quickly, but I pre-ordered it, so I was really lucky to get that one. The next palette we have is from Eloise. This is the Queen palette. Really pretty palette. I actually got this in my monthly subscription box from Lumi. I think this was my first palette I ever received from them and I absolutely loved it. Now this palette retails for like $60 Australian, so I was really happy I got it in my monthly subscription box. Alright, so the next palette we have is from BYS Cosmetics. Now I got this from Kmart for like, I would say no more than $15. Now the pan sizes in this palette are tiny. And I've used this quite a lot, but I'm going to declutter it just because I can always pick this up from Kmart. But this is over 1.5 years old, so I'm going to declutter this palette. We've got this palette from BH. This is a new palette, BFF. Now, it's not new. It's probably 2 months old. Now, that sounds new, but in the makeup world, it's old. And this is collaboration with Alondra and Elise. And this is what the palette looks like. So pretty. Look at the color story. I can't wait to play with this. Haven't played with it yet. Going to do that eventually. Keep that palette. The next palette I've got is from L'Oreal Cosmetics. Now this is the what is this one? This is the Sweet Treat palette. Very pretty. The color story in this palette is stunning. So pretty. Can't wait to play with this palette. So I'm going to keep that. Haven't played with it. I only got it this week. So that's why I haven't played with it. Next palette is from Too Faced, and this is the Born This Way, the Natural Nude palette. First of all, the layout from this palette is stunning, so pretty. I found the mattes worked really, really nicely, but the shimmers for me didn't really work that well. This is the $72 palette, a $72 Australian, so it was quite expensive, so I was a little let down that only half of the shades worked. The other half, the shimmers, I can't really use because they just don't seem to work for me. And I tried every technique. I tried spraying my brush, I tried using my finger. It just wasn't working for me. I'm going to keep this palette just because I like the mattes, and also I can't justify throwing this away right now. So I'm going to keep it in my collection for now. But it's a maybe. Maybe in a couple of months I'll get rid of it if I haven't used it again. And then guys, the next palette is from Urban Decay. This is the Ultraviolet palette. It's not new, but it's new to me, and I did do a makeup reel on my Instagram with this palette. I don't think I did a makeup tutorial. I forget what I've actually done a makeup tutorial with or not. But I found this palette really, really nice, really easy to work with. That shade here, Lucid, is probably my favorite shade because it's just a beautiful shimmer. I'm going to keep this one. Now this retailed for like $80, so I'm definitely going to keep it. And then guys, next palette is from Stiller. I'm going to declutter this palette just because I've had it for over 2 years and it's well expired. The mattes are just really dry and the shimmers are flaking off when I apply it with my finger. They just kind of don't last on my eyes anymore. I think it's just expired and that's why. But I really did like this palette, and it's just a beautiful palette. Packaging wise, it's stunning. Now this was the After Hours palette, and this retailed for over $100. So I'm not throwing away this lightly, but yeah, I know I'm not going to use it. So I'm going to declutter that palette, even though I love the packaging. The next palette is from BY's Cosmetics. I haven't played with this one yet, but I will. This is from Josh and Yenny. They got this for me for my birthday, and I really like this palette, so I'm going to keep that one. And then guys, we've got this one here from BY's Cosmetics, the Sunset palette, or the Sunset Horizon palette, I should say. Haven't played with it yet, but look at the color story, and this blue shimmer. Oh, can't wait to play with it. And also this shade here, Marriage. I don't know how you say that, but that's a really nice yellow gold shimmer, so I'm excited to play with this palette eventually. And I did get this on sale. Now, let's talk about Natasha Denona Circo Loco palette. This cost me $210, and the reason I got this palette was because I love the color story. I love color, and I just thought this is really pretty. I've never ever played with a Natasha Denona palette, and I don't think I'll ever play with another Natasha Denona palette after this one. The mattes for me were okay. The shimmers, I love a shimmer that you can see from space. The shimmers were just blah. Like, for that price, for $215 Australian, for what, how many shades do we have? 12 shades. I was expecting the shimmers to be amazing. I did do a colourful look with this palette, but I didn't really like the actual palette itself. So I'm going to keep this one, and I'm going to give it a few more goes, just because I can't justify throwing away $215 when I've only had this palette for less than 5 weeks, I think, maybe a month. Yeah, I'm going to keep it, but I wasn't happy with this formula. Yeah, I'll try it again and we'll see. If I don't like it, I will get rid of it. The next palette is from Tarte Cosmetics. And guys, I got this palette in a mystery box, and I think it's a stunning palette. The mattes work really nicely and the shimmers work nicely. There are only 4 shimmers in this palette and the rest are all mattes, but I still think it's a really beautiful palette. So I'm going to keep that palette. Now the next palette is from Colourpop. Now this is the Sandstone palette. I got this for $10 and it's normally $25. I could not believe that I got that bargain. I haven't played with it. As you can see, the plastic is still on. Might take that off just so you can see the colours a bit better. Really, really pretty colour story. So I'm going to keep this palette, and I will do a makeup tutorial or reel or something on my TikTok with this palette. Coming soon, hopefully. Alright, the next palette I've got is from Makeup Revolution. So pretty. Haven't played with it. I might not actually touch it. I might give it to my sister and see if she likes it. Just because she's more into neutral palettes. So I'm going to put that aside for her. If not, I'll just keep it for myself. But it's a really pretty palette. So that's that there. The next palette I'm going to declutter, and this is the Coca-Cola X Morphe palette. Now, obviously, I haven't really used it much, but when I did try using the mattes were so powdery, and they just didn't last on my eyes at all. And there's also 2 glitter shades in this palette, which I don't really like glitter. So I'm going to declutter this palette. And then lastly in this drawer, guys, we've got this Colourpop palette. Now this is obviously a magnetic palette. I know there is a term for these palettes, but I don't know what it is, or I can't remember how to say it. But what I think I might do is I might actually declutter all these shades because I don't really like them, especially these glitters. And I might just keep this palette empty for new single eyeshadows that I'm going to hopefully receive soon. So just know I'm going to declutter all of these except maybe this blue shimmer because that's really pretty. The rest I've got in all my other palettes. I'm going to declutter them. And honestly, I don't know why I even kept these 3 glitter shades from Colourpop because I don't even use them. So yeah, I don't know why that's in there. So I'm going to declutter all of these shades except maybe that blue one. Alright, so that's that drawer done. I'm going to repack this drawer with all the palettes I'm going to keep, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so drawer number 2 is repacked, and I did declutter 3 eyeshadow palettes from this drawer, so I'm happy about that. So I'm going to put these aside and we'll get rid of them later. Alright guys, so drawer number 3 has more of my bigger size palettes in it. So the first palette we have is from Makeup Revolution, and I recently purchased this. It's a really beautiful color story, and that's why I got it. I really love these 2 blue shades in it, and also this shade here and this yellow. Really pretty. I haven't really played with it on camera yet. I have tested out some of the mattes and I really like the way they performed, so we'll do a makeup tutorial with it coming soon. Really heavy palette as well, that palette. And then guys, the next palette is from Beauty Bay. Now this is their 42 color palette, and guys, the reason I picked this palette up is because it's just full of color. It's just such a pretty palette. It's got all the shimmers, all the mattes that I would ever want. If you ever just wanted one color palette, this would be it. I think this palette covers every color you would need, and all the shimmers work really nicely. I love Beauty Bay's formula, and I can't wait to play with this palette more. Such a pretty palette. And I did get this on sale, which is always a bonus, so I'm going to keep that palette. And then guys, we've got the Circus Tent Lorac palette. Really pretty palette. I have used some of these shades, mainly the shimmers and the highlighters, but this palette is stunning and I can't wait to play with this palette more. And I did get this on sale, so we'll keep that. Then we have this Morphe palette. Now this is the 35X Morphe palette. This palette was actually part of their holiday palette last year. Now initially I did love this palette, and I did do makeup look with this palette. I did do a makeup tutorial with this palette actually as well on my channel. I'll link that down below if you want to watch it. But after using this palette a couple more times, I'm not really impressed with this palette. So I'm going to declutter this palette. Yeah, I think I'm just going to declutter this palette. I really haven't bought much from Morphe lately. They have kind of turned me off lately. So I'm going to declutter the palette. And then also guys, we've got this Morphe palette. I've used it a few times as you can see, but I'm going to declutter it. I bought this for $17 when it was on sale, so I don't feel too bad decluttering it. I have all these shades and all my other neutral palettes, so we'll get rid of this one as well. Then guys, we've got this one from Morphe. I'm going to declutter this one. Didn't really like the formula in this palette. All these bluish grey shades did not work for me at all, so I'm just going to declutter that. Just because that palette is just too much effort for me to work with to keep, so I'm just going to declutter that. Now this palette is full of my single eyeshadows. It's a magnetic palette, and I put all my single eyeshadows in it, and it's a very colourful magnetic palette. I really like all the colours in this palette, and I might do a makeup tutorial using all these shades. I don't know what all the shade names are. Some of them do have them on the back, and then I think some of them don't. Don't know about this one yet. See, this one doesn't have anything on the back, so I can't really remember what the shade names are or where all the shades came from, because they're all from different brands. Some from Colourpop. I think all of these are Colourpop ones. Then these are from NARS. We've got all of these ones here from different palettes. So I will keep this because I think this palette is stunning, and I've also put a lot of money in this palette alone. This palette would probably retail about $100 just because there's so many different shadows from different brands. Definitely not going to declutter that one. Alright guys, so the last 2 palettes are from Be Perfect. Now this is the Carnival 3 Love Tahiti palette. Now this palette is probably one of my favourite palettes. It's probably my top 3 palette in my collection. I love this palette, so pretty. These 2 shades came broken. I did get a 40% refund from Beauty Bay when it came, but it's a really beautiful palette. Definitely going to keep that one, and this retailed for $72, so it's a little expensive. Then guys, we've got this palette here, and I just created a look with this palette. yesterday, so go check out that reel on my Instagram. And I bought this palette, guys, because I love the Carnival 3 palette so much. And let me just show you what it looks like. Oh, it comes with 3 highlighters. Now this palette is a little expensive. It probably retailed close to about $70, just like the Carnival 3 palette did, but it's well worth the money. So if you've ever wanted to try anything from Be Perfect, try out this palette or the Carnival 3 palette. You will not go wrong and you will not regret it. And guys, that's drawer number 3 decluttered. I decluttered all my Morphe palettes from this drawer, and I'm quite happy about doing that. I don't feel any guilt about decluttering these 3. I'm actually really happy that I've decluttered these finally. They've just been sitting in the back of my drawer for ages. So yeah, just making some more room for my future palettes. Now guys, drawer number 4 only has 4 eyeshadow palettes in it. So the first palette is from Beauty Bay, and this was part of Beauty Bay's holiday collection last year. The palette is the Book of Magic, and I really like this palette. I did do a makeup tutorial with it. The shimmers worked really nicely, and I just love a blue and purple moment, so I'm going to keep this palette. We'll put that up there. The next palette is from Makeup Revolution. Now this is obviously the Friends collaboration palette. Haven't played with it. I picked it up the other day. Really pretty. I'm going to play with it eventually. So we're going to keep that. And then guys, we've got my biggest palette that I own. This is from Lorac Cosmetics. It's the Artistry Book palette, and it is stunning. I'm so happy I finally picked this up. I actually picked this palette up when I picked up the Circus palette, my other Lorac palette. It's such a beautiful palette, and I can't wait to play with this more. So I'm going to keep this one. And then lastly, we've got this Pat McGrath palette. Now I haven't played with this recently, but I really do like the formula, and the packaging is really nice as well. Let's open her up. This palette is the only palette that I keep the packaging for because I think it's stunning. And guys, this is what the palette looks like. It's so pretty. I think the shimmers work really nicely and the mattes work really nicely as well. Now this palette retailed for $220 Australian from Sephora's website. But I did get this when it was 25% off, so I didn't have to pay that full price, but it's still very expensive. So I'm going to keep this in my collection for as long as I can, just because of the price point, and also I do like the formula as well, so I'm going to keep that at the back. This is basically my palette that I hide behind all my other palettes, just because I don't want anyone to steal it, because it's so valuable for me and it's so expensive. Alright, so that's drawer number 4 done. Alright guys, we are on to the final drawer. And the final drawer is quite low in the chest of these drawers, and I don't want to just have to bend down all the time. So I just brought them to the top of the drawers. So yeah guys, the 4th drawer has all my influencer palette. So I've got my Jeffree Star Luna Beauty, I've got my Nikki Tutorials Beauty Bay, I've got my Laura Lee, and I've also got a Kimchi one in here as well. Now obviously I did have some of the Kimchi ones in the first drawer, but these are all my bigger influencer palettes. So the first palette we have is from Luna Beauty, and it's a Strawberry Dream palette. And guys, this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to keep this palette. I'm going to actually keep all my Luna Beauty palettes because I love them so much. This is the latest one. This is the Eternal Clips. Now I finally have the last palette that I haven't had. I think it's the Witch inspired palette. I can't remember what it's called, but that's coming in the mail. Plus his brush collections, because I've been waiting for that. But this is his holiday palette that came out just before December. And guys, this palette is basically the brother version of the Strawberry Dream palette, so I'm going to keep this one. This is what the colour story looks like. Very pretty, so I'm going to keep that. Then guys, we've actually got this So Jaded palette from Catherine Light's X Colourpop. I forgot I had this one. I'm actually, I don't know. I might declutter this one because I hadn't used it for over a year. I think it's over a year. I know I've tested some of the swatches out to see if they're creamy, but I haven't actually played with it. So I'm going to declutter this one. Now this one here is the Morphe X Manny MUA palette. I'm going to keep this palette. As you can see, I've used it quite a lot, and it does come with 2 highlighters. Now this retails for $30 Australian on Morphe's website, but I did pick this up for $15 when it was half price, so I'm going to keep that one. This one here is the Greek Goddess palette from Luna Beauty, and I love the colour story. It's more of a neutral toned colour story with like a pop of blue, so I'm going to keep that one. Then we have this Beauty Bay palette. Oh, I think that's upside down. This is the Nikki Tutorials Beauty Bay collaboration palette. I'm going to keep it, so we'll keep that there. Now, we've got the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. This is the full-size Jawbreaker palette. I did have the mini-size. I actually got 3 of the mini-size Jawbreaker palettes. I initially bought it for myself, and then I got 2 in my Halloween mystery boxes 2 years ago. So I gave those 2 away, and then I did declutter my one in my last declutter video 2 months ago. I don't know about this one. Now guys, I really do like this palette, but I haven't used it for over a year. And my rule to myself was, if I haven't used it in a year, I'm gonna declutter it. So I'm gonna declutter this palette. A lot of people have a lot of strong views on Jeffree Star right now. I have my own views on Jeffree Star. I actually have my mystery boxes coming in the mail from his last mystery box sale, which everyone else has got, but I'm still waiting for mine. But I'm going to declutter this palette just because I haven't used it, and it's also 2.5, 3 years old, so it's well expired anyway. So maybe if I do get a new one from my Jeffree Star mystery boxes, I'll keep that one. But we'll see. I haven't seen any spoilers, so I don't know if I'll get it in that mystery box or not. But I'm going to declutter this just because it's 3 years old and it's only got a 12 months expiry date on it. Plus, I haven't used it in over a year, so I'll declutter that one. Then we've got my Nudie Patootie from Laura Lee Los Angeles. Love this palette. It's a really, really pretty neutral palette, and the formula works really, really nicely. This shade here, Bear, is my favorite as a transition shade, and then Nakey Nakey is really nice to smoke out the lash line with. So I'm going to keep this palette. We've got the Life of Drag palette from Luna Beauty. Going to keep this palette. I've used this palette the most out of all my other eyeshadow palettes. I've used this over 60 times now. I love this palette so much. Yeah, so I'm going to keep that one. And then we've got this Kimchi palette. I like this palette, but I haven't used it for over a year. Now, I did say in the video where I talked about all my influencer palettes, I'm going to keep all of these. But because I'm decluttering them now, and I know I've got 20 plus palettes coming, I'm going to declutter this palette. I'm going to declutter that one. We've got this highlighter palette. Now, this is not an eyeshadow palette, but because it's so long, I just put it in my palette drawer. This is the Glaze palette from Laura Lee Los Angeles. 2 of the shades came broken. And the other 2, even though I like them, this shade here, Glow Gal, is really nice. It's nothing amazing, so I'm just going to declutter this as well because I haven't used it in a long time. Now, the last 2 palettes are Jeffree Star. This is the Blue Blood palette, iconic Blue Blood palette. I've used it a few times. It's not my favourite palette. I love blue eyeshadow, but I haven't really used this in a long time. But I just love blue eyeshadow so much, so I'm going to actually keep this one. I'm going to break my rule, even though I haven't used it in a year, I'm going to keep it. The Blood Sugar palette, I'm going to declutter. This is, I haven't used it, I've only used it once, and that was last Halloween. And before that, I didn't use it for a year and a half, so I'm going to declutter it. It's quite dirty, it's quite old, and again, this is over 3 years old, so I'm going to declutter this palette. So this is expired as well, but I want to try out the formula before I throw it out. This one, I just haven't used it, and I don't really like it, so I'm going to throw that out. So yeah, guys, that's me going through all my eyeshadow palettes. I decluttered 5 palettes just then. Catherine Lights, 2 Jeffree Star, a Kimchi palette, and also the Laura Lee highlighter palette. And then, guys, I kept all of these. This Blue Blood, I'm still iffy about. If I do get one from Jeffree Star in my mystery boxes coming, I will declutter this old one. And guys, I'm really happy with the ones that I've actually decluttered. I've decluttered 16 eyeshadow palettes and 1 highlighter palette. So I'm really happy about that. I'm going to put all of these away in the 4th drawer, and then I'm going to move the camera and we can continue with all the highlighters and face products. So my face palettes, highlighters, bronzers, blushes, and setting powders and all that type of stuff. Alright guys, I'm back. I've moved the camera and I've just pulled out all my blushes, contours, and my setting powders up here. I'm going to go through all of these, and then after I've gone through all these, I'll pull out the highlighters, just because I have so many products, I don't have enough space for all of them out here. So yeah guys, let's get straight into it. So the first product is from Nude by Nature. Now this is an Australian makeup brand. I only recently got this week in the mail with some other items. I'm going to keep this. This is their translucent setting powder. I haven't tried it. Going to keep this one. Then we've got this Mecca Max blush. Now, I did really like this initially, but I've kind of gone off this bright pink shade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to declutter this because I've had this for over a year and a half now, almost 2 years now. This is the Pink Pop Cheek Chic blush, and it retailed for $20. So it's a little expensive for one blush, one shade. I haven't used it for a year, so I'm going to declutter this. The next product I have is from Aesthetica. I got this in my Lumi box, my monthly subscription box. And guys, I actually really like this. I'm going to keep this. The next item is from e.l.f. This is the Perfect Finishing HD powder. And guys, look how white that is. I mean, what? Why would anyone use something that is that white? If I put this on my face, it's going to make my face look so white and powdery. I just don't think I'm going to use this. So I'm going to declutter this one. I also got this setting powder from Bella Priere. Now this retails for $70. This is a translucent setting powder, but it just looks really, really white. So I'll be interested to see how that looks. And for $70, I'm definitely going to give it a chance. So I'm going to keep that. I also do have my Laura Mercier setting powders that I absolutely love. They are in the shade translucent. I initially got this one, and then I got this one after because I wanted the bigger version. Going to keep those. Then guys, we've got this one here from Too Faced. This is a highlighter and bronzer, and I actually really like this. As you can see, I've used it quite a lot. I wish it was a bit bigger because I used a big fluffy brush to apply it, but I still really like this. I'm going to keep this. The next item is from Kaleidos. This is their contour palette, and this is the warm and medium. I did get a dark and then I got a light one. I gave them away because I couldn't use them, but this is what it looks like. I actually really like the bronzer. I haven't really used these two. This one looks a bit ashy for me, but I really, really like this one, so I'm going to keep that. Then guys, we've got this Urban Decay setting powder. I'm actually going to declutter this one just because I know this is 3 years old and I did just buy a refill, so I'm going to declutter this one. I did hit pan in it, but this is over 3 years old, so I just want to get rid of that one, and I'm going to use the new one that I got. Then guys, the last two items are setting powders. So I've got this one from Morphe. This is their translucent setting powder, loose setting powder. I haven't tried this out yet. I do want to try this when I'm using their foundation concealer. I haven't tried their foundation concealer, so I want to try all three together. So I'm going to keep this. Then guys, we've got this e.l.f. HD powder. Now this is the loose version of this one here that I decluttered. So I'm going to declutter both of these. I don't know why I got these. I don't know. I just was having a brain freeze and I bought both of them at the same time, and they're exactly the same thing, just one pressed, one loose. So yeah, I'm going to declutter those. Alright guys, so I've gone through all of those. I'm going to keep all these setting powders and bronzers. I didn't keep any of my loose blushes. I only did have one loose blush. I think I've got another one here mixed in my highlighter. But these are all the items I'm going to keep. So I'm going to put these back in the drawer, and I'm going to pull out all my highlighters, and then I'm going to declutter 4 of the other items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all these back in the drawer, and then guys, I'll bring out all the highlighters and we can go through all of those. I'll be right back guys. Alright guys, so these are all my highlighters. I also do have all my Space Age Kaleidos highlighters in this little packet here. But I'm going to keep all of these. I'm not going to take them out. I just wanted to show you what they look like. I am missing one. I do eventually want to get that last one that I'm missing to complete my collection. But I think this is a really cute like highlighter holder. And this holder does retail for $20, I think. But yeah, I really like Kaleidos' highlighter formula, so I'm going to keep all of them. But yeah, let's get straight into all these highlighters here. So this one here is from Artist Couture. Now, Artist Couture, if you didn't know, is owned by Mac Daddy, who is an influencer and a YouTuber. He has his own brand, which is called Artist Couture. Now, this is a loose highlighter, and it's in the shade Cocoa Bling. It's the Diamond Glow powder, and I really, really like this. It's really, really nice. And I managed to get this when it was on sale, so I was really, really happy to get this. I'm going to keep this item. And then, guys, we've got this Fenty Beauty How Many Carats Diamond Bomb highlighter. Now, this is the small travel set. I actually got the lip gloss, Diamond Bomb lip gloss, and this highlighter together. As you can see, it's been used, but it's so pretty. It's so pretty. I don't know if the camera's picking that up. Anyway, that's really pretty. I'm going to keep that. And then, guys, we've got this one here from MUA Makeup Academy. This highlighter is way too dark for me. When I bought it, it was only $5 on sale from Beauty Bay. But it's too dark for me. I did pick it up on sale from Beauty Bay's website for $5, so I'm going to declutter it. I don't feel too bad because I only paid $5. I'm going to declutter that. And then, guys, we've got this one here, which is from the same brand, and I bought it at the same time, $5. For some reason, I can't open it. Oh, I can open it. Okay, let me just swatch it. I'm just going to... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, when I went to swatch it for you guys, it fell out of the compact straight onto the actual top of this. I can't believe that just happened. It fell out. Alright, I'm going to declutter this because it wasn't my favourite highlighter anyway. And I'm just going to quickly jump off camera and clean this up just so it doesn't spread all over my drawers and also fall down onto my carpet. So I will be right back, guys, but I cannot believe that just happened. Alright, I'm back. I can't believe that just happened. So yeah, let's get straight back into it. Now this highlighter is from Lunar Beauty. This is in the shade Mars, and it's a little dark for me. I've had this for 2 years now. Manny did do a mystery box 2 years ago, and that's where I got this from. So I'm going to declutter this because I haven't used it in over a year. That's what it looks like there. Really, really pretty. But it does feel very dry. So I'm going to declutter this one. And then, guys, we've got this Juno & Co. one. I got this in my Juno & Co. mystery box. I actually really like this highlighter, and it retails for $10 on their website. Such a pretty highlighter. I'm definitely going to keep this one. I haven't used it enough. And I've only had this for less than 4 months. I got this just before Christmas, and I really, really love their highlighter formula. So I'll keep that one. The next one is my only Ofra highlighter that I own. It is a little dark for me. This is in the shade Blissful. It is a little dark for me, but I make it work because I really wanted it for so long. I'll just make it work. And guys, that's the swatch there. It's so pretty. Like I said, it is a little dark for me, but I'm going to make it work. Just because that's the only Ofra highlighter I own, and I've wanted one for so long. So I'm going to keep that one. The next highlighter is from MAC, and I've got 3 highlighters from MAC. So the first one is in the shade Soft and Gentle. And guys, I've only owned this for 2 weeks, so I'm going to keep this one. Then guys, we've got this one, and this is part of MAC's Christmas holiday collection last year. As you can see, it's got like a snowflake on the top of it. Really pretty. The packaging looks really nice, but it's very, very cheap. It's very, very light. It's very cheap. And guys, this is what the highlighter looks like. Really, really pretty. This is in the shade Let It Glow. It's a really, really nice highlighter, and I really like MAC's highlighter formula. I haven't really tried out the eyeshadow formula, but the highlighter formula is amazing, so I'm going to keep that one. The next one is a highlighter blush. So it's from MAC, and this is part of their Black Cherry collection. This is the Dilly Dolly shade, and it is marketed as a blush, but it does have highlighter qualities. So let me just quickly swatch it for you. That's what it looks like, really pretty. And let me just swatch on the back of my hand. And guys, that's what the swatch looks like. Really, really pretty. Obviously, it is a blush, but you could use it as a highlighter as well. So I'm going to keep this because I just recently purchased this. The next highlighter is from Too Faced. Now, this is actually a highlighter palette, but I'm just going to include it in this part of the video because it's out. And this is what it looks like, guys. So it actually has 3 different formulas in this highlighter. This one here, Dazzle, is more of a glitter formula. This is a powder highlighter, and this one here is a shimmer highlighter. It's just a really, really pretty highlighter palette, and I'm really happy that I added this to my collection. I'm going to keep this one. Alright guys, so the last 4 highlighters are actually cream highlighters or liquid highlighters. And I only got these this week, but I've decided I'm going to declutter these. I don't really like liquid highlighters just because I found that all my liquid highlighters and cream products always lift all my foundation. So I don't really want to do a makeup tutorial where it just kind of ruins the look that I'm trying to create. So I'm just going to declutter these because I can't see myself using these. Like, I'm 99.9% sure that I will never use these. And guys, that's all my highlighters done. So I decluttered those 4 liquid highlighters plus 3 powder highlighters. 1 from Lunar Beauty and 2 from this brand MUA Makeup Academy. So I'm quite happy about that. So now guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wash the swatches off the back of my hand. I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to have some dinner while my battery charges because I only have 1 battery for this camera. And I will be right back, guys. Hi guys, James here. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing well. It is currently the next day, and I filmed half of my declutter video. Today I want to finish filming the first part of that. Now I did say at the start of this I was going to go through my single eyeshadows, but I've actually edited most of the first part of this video, except obviously what I'm doing now, and that is 42 minutes long already. So what I wanted to quickly do was finish this first part of the declutter video, talking about all my highlighters and my face palettes, and then in part 2 I'll do all my single eyeshadows, also my lip products, lip glosses, lipsticks, lip liners, and also all my eyeliners. So I want to do that in part 2 because I think I have a lot of lip liners and a lot of eyeliners that I want to go through. And I've also got a lot of single eyeshadows that I will probably swatch during that part of that video, which will take some time. So I thought I'll just quickly talk about this just to save some time. And then guys, I want to quickly just show you what I got today in the mail. They are mostly eyeshadows and highlighters. So I just want to quickly add those to my eyeshadow drawers where I've created all the new space. Alright, so let's get straight into it. So the first palette is from Jaclyn Hill. Now this is the highlighter palette. Now this retails for $82. And I never wanted to pay the full price. So when it was on sale for $41, I got it. And I got it from the Morphe website. Really, really pretty. There are two shades in this palette that I can't use. The red one and the dark one here. They're just too dark for my skin tone. But I do like the other two. It's not the best formula. I probably wouldn't buy anything more from Jaclyn Hill highlighter wise. Sorry guys, I had to turn that light down because it was too bright for me. But yeah, like I was saying, I will eventually get some more Jaclyn Hill products. I did look at her liquid lipsticks, but they were sold out, and the ones that I want haven't been restocked. So I will try and get some of the really dark shades in her new liquid lipstick line, but I'll probably wait until they're on sale, maybe Black Friday sales or something like that. But that's the first palette. I'm going to keep that one. I haven't had it very long. The next palette is from Benefit, and this is the Cheek Stars face palette. Now I really like this. This retailed for $99 Australian, but it did have a value of $270. So this is what the palette looks like. It's got one highlighter, two blushes and two bronzers, and it does come with a little brush as well. Now each of these actually do come individually, and they retail for $50 Australian. So the fact that I got 5 of these for $99, I was really happy. I love this palette. I consistently used this palette for almost a year straight. Nothing else, just this palette to do my highlighter, bronzer and blush. But obviously now I've been using other products, but this palette I absolutely love, and I'm going to hold on to that for as long as possible. The next palette is from Morphe. Now this is a highlighter palette. I'm going to declutter this because I've had this for 2 years and I don't really use it. It's very powdery, and yeah, it's just, I got it for $18 when it was on sale. I think it normally retails for about $35. But yeah, I'm just going to declutter it. I haven't used it for over a year and a half. Declutter that. The next palette is from Luna Beauty. This is the Moon Prism Blush palette. Absolutely love this palette. This shade here is my go-to, and that's in the shade Starlight. Absolutely love this palette. I did miss out on the first launch of it. I actually bought this and the 3 lip glosses that come in the bundle for $60 US, but I think this retails itself for $35. But I did miss the first launch, had to wait for the second launch, and I absolutely do not regret getting this. I will buy this palette over and over and over again, just because I love that blush palette. The next palette is from Morphe. Now this is a face palette, so it's got bronzers, contours and highlighters. It's a really pretty palette. I actually do like the bronzers and highlighters out of this palette, so I'm going to keep this one. Haven't had this as long as this one here, and I do use this quite often, so I'll keep that one. And then guys, we've got this Jeffree Star Brain Freeze highlighter palette. Now I've had this for 3 years. I actually got this the same time I got the Blood Sugar palette, the Big Jawbreaker palette. So I've had this for over 2.5 years. Haven't used it in over a year, so I'm going to declutter this. I mean, it's very powdery. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but there's product all over this palette. Yeah, I'm just going to declutter this one. I did like the formula, and I really do like the way it performs, but I haven't used it in such a long time, so it's just been sitting in the back of my drawer, so I'll declutter that. And then guys, the last one I have is from Coloured Rain X Power. Now this is the collaboration with Power, the TV show like 50 Cent did. I got this in a mystery box. Now it's got a blush and a highlighter, but it's very pink for me, and this highlighter is too deep for my skin tone. So I'm just going to declutter this one because I just don't see myself using this at all. And then guys, I do want to just quickly talk about this. I did pick this up from American Max the other day, actually yesterday, and it's a NARS bronzing powder. This is the mini version. I just picked it up because it was at the checkout. I'm like, I'll just add it into my collection. This is what it looks like. My sister has the full size of this, and I did try it, and it seemed okay. Now, I actually didn't see what shade this was because it was just at the checkout, so I just quickly picked it up. But I actually think that will work perfectly for my skin tone. So I'm just going to add this to my single blush and bronzer drawer with my face powders. So that's a new item for me. I'm going to put that aside. I'm not going to tell you the price for that because you'll be like, why would you pay that much for this one small item? Because it's my money, and I can. So that's all my face palettes and highlighter palettes done. I'm going to declutter 3. So I've got this one from Coloured Rain. I've got a Morphe highlighter, and then I've also got the Jeffree Star Brain Freezer Pro highlighter palette I'm going to declutter. Now this retails for $40 US. I remember that off by heart. And then the ones I'm going to keep are 4 face and highlighter palettes. So I'm actually quite happy with that. I kept 4 and I've decluttered 3, so I'm happy about that. And then I've also going to add this to my collection as well. Now guys, let's quickly go through the palettes, just because I don't want the video to be too long, but I wanted to show you what I got. I will do a makeup tutorial with all of them. I just opened it up upside down, but this is what it looks like. So I got 2 scarves. I actually got one for free because I spent a certain amount of money. And then also one was half price. They were normally $12, but I got them for $6. Let me show you what I got. I think I got 2 highlighters and then I got the rest palettes. So we'll talk about the palettes. So we've got 2 full-size palettes, and then we've got 2 smaller palettes. This is a highlighter palette, and this is also a single highlighter. So we'll open the single highlighter first. Before I open it, let's just quickly admire the packaging. I think it's stunning. Now all the items are from Odin's Eye Cosmetics. I actually watched Ellie Dawson review their products, and after I watched it I had to get it. This is what that highlighter looks like. It looks like a cobblestone path. I think that's how you would describe it, but look how pretty that is. It's got pinks, golds, really pretty. So I'm excited to play with that. I'm going to add that to my collection. I will do a makeup tutorial with all of these. I don't want to swatch anything because I don't want this part of the video to add too much time to the rest of the video. The next item is a highlighter palette. So this is a 4-pan highlighter palette. Why is my camera not focusing? That's better. Really pretty packaging, and this is what it looks like. Stunning, so pretty, and it does have a little highlighter butterfly in that pan as well. That's really pretty. So I'm going to add that to the collection. And then we've got these 4 palettes that almost slid out. That would have been messy. And then goes the packaging, stunning again. This is what the palette looks like. Really pretty. Love that color story. Stunning, really pretty packaging. Oh, this palette is everything. Look at that blue. Oh, I can't wait to play with this palette. It's really pretty. And then we've got the last 2 bigger palettes. This is what the packaging looks like for that. Really pretty. And then, oh god, the magnet on this is pretty strong. And this is what the palette looks like. Now it does have 2 glitter shades, which I'm not crazy about, but every other shade is stunning. So I'm excited to play with that. And then the last palette is this one here. This is probably my favourite palette out of all of them. Packaging wise, stunning, but also the colour story wise. Ugh. Can we just talk about the colours in this palette? So pretty. So I'm excited to play with all of these. So all of these palettes I'm actually adding to my collection. I also did receive my Lunar Beauty palette, the one that I was talking about when I did the declutter, the Witch palette. I haven't opened that box. I actually should open it just to make sure it's not broken. It also does have his eye brush collection, which I'm excited to play with. But I'll do a separate unboxing video for that and a makeup tutorial. Alright guys, so that is part 1 of my declutter video series done. I really hope you enjoy this series. If you've got any questions on any of the products you've seen me keep or toss or anything like that, leave a comment down below. And if you want to see any makeup tutorials using some of my eyeshadow palettes, just leave a comment down below because I'm more than happy to do that. And guys, if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel if you're new. Hit the notification bell so you know when I upload a brand new video. And also guys, check out my Instagram because I do post a lot of things that I don't film on my YouTube channel. And also I do host a lot of giveaways through my Instagram. And guys, thank you for watching this video. It is a very long video. Most of my declutter videos are very long just because I have a lot of makeup to go through. And I really do hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, I will see you later. All my love. Bye.